Right, welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Some interesting industry news for you all. Genuinely, hold your horses. Wait, this is interesting. So we've long known that China is a powerhouse in the movie industry, right? It's absolutely a powerhouse in the movie industry. A lot of people don't like it because they have huge censorship rules. They change a lot of productions as a result to pander to the Chinese market. I get it. It makes sense. It's huge business, right? Now, Terminator Dark Fate has secured a Chinese release. That's nothing that it's nothing to be surprised by. And a lot of people won't realize this, but you will now. A Chinese production company has an equity stake in Terminator Dark Fate, just like they did in Terminator Genesis. So Tencent is Chinese, right? So it was always going to get a Chinese release date. This is nothing new. But I think a lot of people will be surprised to hear that a Chinese company has an equity stake in Terminator Dark Fate. Now, what does that mean for Terminator Dark Fate? Well, it means that undoubtedly, and again, this is just without a shadow of a doubt, that it will have some very key elements for the Chinese market. Literally just like any movie does these days that's released in China. Now, what does this mean for Terminator and the future of the franchise? Well, look, Terminator Genesis had a great release in China. In fact, it took about 203 million, I believe, just in China, whereas worldwide it took 400. Oh, just interrupted my own video. I fudged up. I'm so sorry, ladies and gents. I do actually correct myself later in this video. It wasn't Terminator Genesis that grossed that much. It's very early. I'm recording this very, very early. And it was actually Warcraft. I just got a bit muddled up. Sorry, PSA over and done with. So this could be make or break for the film. But it also doesn't mean that it will set it up for success moving forwards. Because, of course, you know, Terminator Genesis came and went anyway. So let's get into this article. And then we're going to take a look at Tencent's films. So you can kind of make up your opinion. Make up your mind of whether you think this is good or bad news for the film. Because if Tencent have an equity stake in the production of this film, they will be making decisions. They will be. That's a fact. Regardless of James Cameron or anything like that, Tencent will make decisions on the production of this film. If they have an equity stake, they have a lot of money invested in this and they will want a return. That's simple business math. You can't argue with it. So China is expected to be a key market for the Paramount and Skydance tentpole, considering that Terminator Genesis earned markedly more in the Middle Kingdom than North America. Now, Skydance is really important to note here as well, because Tencent has a stake in Skydance as well. So they've got a lot of money invested in this film. So not only did they have a lot of money invested directly into the production of the film, but they also own part of Skydance. So Paramount and Skydance's Terminator Dark Fate has locked down its release date in China, a territory expected to play an outsized role in determining the movie's own box office fate. The sixth film in the Terminator franchise, Dark Fate, will open in the Middle Kingdom on November 1st, the same date as North America and other major territories around the world. The new installment marks the return of franchise creator James Cameron as a producer, with Deadpool filmmaker Tim Miller directing. Linda Hamilton, Sarah Connor, and Arnold Schwarzenegger as the iconic T-800 Model 101 are both back in action. Terminator Genesis, the previous film in the franchise, earned 111 million in China in 2015. I thought it was 200. That's what other websites say. Being hurt by box office fraud, designed to boost a Terminator Genesis, the previous film in the franchise, earned 113 million in China in 2015, despite being hurt by box office fraud, designed to boost a competing Chinese propaganda film compared to just 89.7 million in North America. China is again expected to be a pillar market for the latest Terminator movie. China's Tencent Pictures, owned by Tencent, has an equity stake in Dark Fate and is also a minority shareholder in David Ellison's Skydance. The internet giant will be promoting the movie aggressively over its myriad of online platforms. Now, let's take a look, right? So, this is Tencent Pictures. Let me just crush this over here. So, okay, sorry. I was looking at Warcraft. That's where I got the 213 million from. My bad. It's somewhat early in the morning. So Warcraft was 433 million worldwide and grossed 213 in China. Now, Kong Skull Island. So let's take a look at Tencent's films, right? Because that's what's important here, is whether you think that it will be good or bad. Okay, Rocco Kingdom. Literally never even heard of it. Warcraft. A lot of people like it. A lot of people really hate it. So that's not a good sign. Again, that's being so mixed is not a good sign. My personal opinion is to one side. It being so mixed is not a good sign. Blood of Youth. The majority of people will never even heard of it. Kong Skull Island. Now, a lot of people liked that film. Some people didn't like it. So we're getting a little bit more positive now. Wonder Woman. I mean, that was near universally liked. However, let's take a look at the Chinese market. They didn't like it. And that's important to note here, okay, because Tencent has an equity share in Dark Fate. So it will be more towards the Warcraft leaning of style and pandering to the Chinese market than Wonder Woman would, if that makes sense. Again, it's just logic, it's just business. Those thinking I'm hating, shove it up your ass. Venom, for instance. Yeah, I mean, reasonable. And that had a fairly okay share in China. Bumblebee. I mean, again, that was always going to do relatively okay in China. Men in Black International. Terrible in China, but terrible all around the world. So that's nothing really to go on. Now, the rest of it, again, you got Top Gun Maverick, Monster Hunter, movies which are, to be released. Now, these ones, for instance, we can probably say are going to be so-so. But if we look at Skydance Media, and again, this is another company that is clearly working very closely on this film. Terminator Genesis production had China Movie Channel production, but was also distributed by Paramount Pictures. Now, let me just take a look at the actual numbers for Terminator. Okay, well, it only took 440 million worldwide. Okay, so the figures that I saw were quite literally just me looking at Warcraft and getting a little bit muddled up. So I don't know whether this is good or bad. Like I say, it's important to take a look at the wider things at play here. I mean, Tencent Pictures, distributor and production company, owning a massive stake in Terminator Dark Fate, an equity stake, will have say on the production of the film. So, difficult to say whether this is good or bad, but it definitely throws a flag in terms of the quality of the film. But it also, for those that are, just itching and say you're already a fan of the film, you can't be a fan of the film, guys, it's not released yet. Calm your tits. But those that say that they're a fan of the film already and just really want it to smash it out of the park, this is good for you. This is good news, because if it does well in China, which it looks like it probably will, means that you'll get your sequels that you want so desperately to a film you've never seen that you're somehow a fan of. So that's kind of good and bad news, I guess, because this indicates that the quality could be bad. I mean, any film could be bad, so it's not really saying much, but it could be bad. And it's saying that the likelihood of a sequel is fairly high. So I guess top marks, because if the production is bad and it's a bad film, we're going to be getting shitty sequel after shitty sequel because they're catering to the Chinese market. Now, again, I don't know if a lot of people were aware of this, Tencent being on board so heavily and having an equity stake. That's the important part here. Those saying, no, it's all James Cameron. Sorry, he dances to the money man. And China is the money man on this film. So he will be dancing to China. Not only that, they also own part of Skydance, David Ellison's production company. So anyway, what do you guys think? Good or bad, let me know down below in the comment section. If you're new here, make sure you do hit subscribe. You can stay up to date on the world of pop culture and movie news and deep dives on the industry such as this. Love to hear all your thoughts though. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and a share. I've Mr. H. Take care.